Hey, welcome back to No Hype Beer Reviews. Unless it's your first time, then welcome. Please consider subscribing. If you do, hit the notification bell, get all the updates. That's it for today's video. So it's Saturday. On Saturday, they do Cellar Saturday, where I actually drink something off the shelf behind me. So this one was a gift from John, I think 2 years ago. I'll double check. It'll be in the title, so you already know what year this is. But I think it was from 2022. Or 2020, which would make it 2 years old. So this is, speaking of 22, this is Central Water's anniversary edition, and this is 22 from their 22nd anniversary. So it's malt beverage aged in oak bourbon barrels. So I think even more specifically, it's a stout. We've had this conversation on the channel before. A few breweries who call it like malt beverages, but then they're stouts. But anyway, I have it in my head that either John or someone else was like, you can, like, obviously you can age this beer, but I feel like someone put in my head, like, age it for a little bit. So I did, but I couldn't find any evidence that happened, so I don't know. But anyway, John, thank you for the beer, and I am getting around to reviewing it finally. But yeah, for some reason I didn't put it in the to drink soon pile. It was up here, just like drink whenever you want, man, pile. So I don't know. My left arm is working fine. I don't know why I didn't just pick up the glass like I always do. That was weird. I've never done that before. Hey, I cleaned the glass properly. So it's very dark. Oh, so I did look up because it doesn't have a lot of information, and usually I don't look stuff up, but I wanted to see if this had any adjuncts / additives for people who are annoyed when I call them adjuncts. And I didn't see anything else besides the bourbon barrel aging, and it looks like this is 13.3% ABV. But anyway, definitely looks like a big stout, right? I mean, that's a little bit of brown in there, but it's basically black. It's super dark. The head is almost exactly what I think of mocha, the color mocha. Not a lot of head, but given the ABV, I'm not surprised. Some nice legs. Lacing doesn't stick around very long. None of this is surprising. It looks exactly how I thought it would. Let's get into that aroma. Ooh, that's nice. The chocolate to roast to like bourbon sweetness ratio, pretty spot on. Like not even spot on. Like the ideal ratio almost. Wow. 'Cause like you are getting big chocolate, milk chocolate, little Hershey syrup, little bit of into dark chocolate, and then that slight roast. And I love like roasty, like coffee. I love like super bitter chocolate. So like there's just a little bit of roast that kind of accentuates the chocolate to that direction without sacrificing all these cool other chocolatey notes. So it's very chocolate stoutiness, and then you do get it's not bourbon heavy, but you do get like pretty easily some nice bourbon on the nose. Now I'm getting a little bit of oak, some vanilla, a little bit of that chocolate vanilla swirl thing happening. I could see a little bit of like berry fruit. Big caramel, huge caramel. How did I not get that earlier? Wow. This smells really good. And I like Central Waters, and we wouldn't get something like this because I think it was probably like brewery exclusive or something. But like I have some like bourbon barrel aged barley wines up here. This is a brewery I like. We get a little bit of their stuff, and that makes me happy, and I hope you keep getting some of their stuff. But anyway, smells fantastic. Let's get into the glass. Cheers. Thanks again, John. Hope you're doing well. That's good. That's good. And I got a little bit of this in the aroma. One of the things I really like about the taste is for how much chocolate, caramel, all that stuff I was saying, there's and this is going to sound so stupid to say out loud in a review like this, it has a really nice, solid, stout base. Told you, stupid to say out loud, but it needs to be said. It unmistakably drinks, and I'm not saying this just because it says malt beverage on it, but like it unmistakably is stouty. And I, if you look at the stouts I've consumed on the channel, probably always, they almost always are not just a stout. There's something else added to it, whether it's barrel aging or additive, adjunct. So every once in a while, like you have like just a regular stout, nothing else going on, just we brewed a stout, right? And sometimes it just hits you. It's like, yeah, I like all the other stuff with the stout taste. Excuse me. And sometimes that stuff takes away from the stout base, you know. This one, it shines through, and the other stuff's also there. Like I maybe a weird thing to hear me harp on, but for me, I feel like this beer, it has to be said that way. It's incredible that way. Yeah, and you're getting all the different chocolate I talked about in the aroma. You get some of that like caramel. Based on the aroma, I thought there would be a little bit more caramel in taste, but it's there. Little bit of vanilla, slight oak tannin, which is nice. It brings some complexity to the beer. Maybe even helps balance out some of these flavors. The alcohol, minimal on the taste, a little bit, which I like in a beer like this. Talk about minimal. Probably the most minimal heat, warmth in the chest where you'd actually notice it. So it happens to be uncharacteristically warm here today, but man, this beer on a cold evening by a fire, this is the beer you want. I don't know. If I'm being honest too, I'm like super tired reviewing this. And I don't think I'm as animated as, like, I don't think my animation, and I know I'm not like the most animated person who does this, but it's not correctly showing how good this beer is. And again, the fact that this base stout is so prevalent, but not, and it's not like, man, why did they even go the trouble of bourbon barrel aging it? Because that stuff's in it too, but it just, the stout shines. I've had beers like this, but like it's been a while where I feel like I need to make this point over and over again, apparently. Smooth, yet with big flavors. Nice bitter chocolate finish. A little bit of that oak tannin, so I love those flavors together. So even like the aftertaste is nice. A little bit more compounding warmth in the chest. Just enough vanilla that keeps the vanilla king, the vanilla police here, interested. Yeah, this is phenomenal. This is really tasty. So if it was all in my head to age this beer for a little bit before drinking it, I'm glad I incorrectly thought that. If it is true that someone told me to age this beer for a little while, thank you for telling me that. Even though I couldn't find any evidence of anyone telling me that. But anyway, thanks again, John. I really appreciate it. I hope you're doing well. Has anyone else had this beer before? Have you had a nice a stout lately of any variety you want to tell me about? Are you sipping on something completely unrelated? Big life news you want to tell me about? Anything, everything. Comment section below. Let's get a conversation going. Once you're done doing that, make sure you check me out on Instagram and on Tapped. It's No Hype Beer Reviews at both those places. So please like, comment, subscribe, and most importantly, imbibe. Cheers, everyone.